Hello, I'm Angie from the Montpelier Library, and we have Miss Katie with us again today to talk about some YA stuff, young adult literature. And today she's going to hit on some of the authors that she finds interesting or some of the ones that are a little more popular. So we hope you enjoy this, and let's see what she's got to say.
Okay. Well, we'll start with Riordan, and those 4 books down there are his. You can see The Red Pyramid, The Lightning Thief, The Trials of Apollo, and I think it's The House of Hades is down there. Those are all each one book from 4 different series that he's written, and he has another series out as well. They're all based on some sort of mythology, Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and Norse, and so they're really cool. You get a different play on things, especially since Marvel made Thor and Loki and them so popular with the Norse mythology. They kind of poke fun at Marvel a little bit. I remember the Red Pyramid was really cool because we had just studied Egypt in school, and then we got into those, and so that was fun. And definitely the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief series is extremely popular. They made a couple movies. They didn't finish out the whole series, but very large fan base for those, and really good reads, easy reads, and you learn some stuff about, he takes twists on the different tales and things. And then I know he's also written / had an illustrated large book that has the real original stories about them as well, so they're really cool if you're into those kind of
Or it could go the opposite way. You read these books and then you kind of get interested in some of that, and then you start looking into that more.
Yes, or like you've heard bits and pieces, and I know that like at one point they talk about the Odyssey, and I didn't read that until I was a senior in high school, but I read those when I was in junior high. So you like, once you get into other things, you're like, oh, then that joke makes sense, or things like that. So it's kind of fun. Another big author in YA is John Green. I think probably his biggest one would be The Fault in Our Stars, which became a movie, and then Paper Towns also became a movie. And I think Looking for Alaska just got either picked up for a movie or a TV show.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
So, and usually that's a mark that everybody really liked the book because they pushed for it to become in the media. But they're really good standalone books. They're not series, but he's written a lot of, they're not really romances, but they deal with, like, in Fault in Our Stars, both of the main characters have cancer, so they're child cancer survivors. And then Paper Towns is like the lostness right before graduation, and so they're fun reads. They're very deep characters, and for such a nerdy guy, you wouldn't expect for how he looks. And if you watch the Crash Course videos, if you read the book and then watch that, you're gonna be going, that's the guy that wrote those, but they're really good, and so I like them. The next series is the Hunger Games series by Susan Collins. We definitely know those were movies, and the books are really good. They have a lot of detail. They're definitely challenge things about like rising above your situation. What are you willing to do for your family and your friends and things like that? Right and wrong, and sometimes the whole world's not black and white. And then she just came out with this new book, which is a prequel to the original series called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I personally haven't read it yet. It just came out a couple weeks ago. I will read it soon after I finish my books.
It's on Hoopla too.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Good.
So if you have one of our library cards, you can click on your Hoopla account and listen to it, or it might even be an ebook, so you could read it there too. I'm not sure. I didn't check, but yeah.
It should be good. I'll probably read it just because I liked the Hunger Games a lot, and so the premise of the book isn't that important to me. But I know it's set, I think, 50 years before the first book. It has to do with some of the adults that were in the original series, so the older generation. And then this is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I never know how to pronounce his last name. Zusak. But this is a book I was encouraged to read by like all of my English teachers, and then my friends that had read it, and it's really, a lot of people have read it and really enjoyed it. It's a standalone book about a young girl growing up and living in Nazi Germany during World War II, and the struggles that they see as people that see the wrong and don't know what to do about it. And then, it deals with a lot of the things that we kind of ignore, like the book burnings, and that's why it's The Book Thief. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's important, and it's all told from the point of view of death. So it's
There's
not
a
the
narrator for
happiest
you.
story, but it's a good read. My high school had a elective class called the Book Club class, and we really enjoyed it, and we did a discussion about it, and that might have added to why I liked it so much, but it's definitely a good read. A whole bunch of high school kids liked it, and I know it's also a movie, so if you've seen that, I definitely give the book a try, because there are some differences that you might enjoy. We definitely all loved the book a little better than the movie, but the movie was very good.
Just not a certain part of it.
Yeah. We didn't like how they made a couple of changes, and all of us were very adamant, but because of course we just read the book and then watched the movie, so a lot of times a book that's very popular, it takes a couple of years for it to become a movie, and so then you forget some small details, and then it's not as big of a deal unless that was your favorite part, and then it's a huge deal. But and so then we just read the book and then watched the movie, and all of us were like, whoa, wait a second, for like a couple different parts, but it makes a good movie either way. So and then The Hobbit by J.J.R. Tolkien, definitely, I haven't read the series, or like an unexpected Lord of the Rings journey. An Unexpected Journey, Lord of the Rings, sorry. But I know when they were first coming out, they were definitely very popular, and they're still popular now, and the movies are very popular, and I think it would be a good read, especially since it's not a specific age group. Like, it's a journey, it's an adventure, a lot of action.
So a lot of different ages can get on board with that.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of ages can definitely get on with the Hobbit series, because they're not centered around young people. They're all different ages, different backgrounds and things. I think a lot of adults would like the Hunger Games series because it deals with heavier topics. It's a little darker. I remember that was something that when I started reading them, I was kind of like, they're a little dark, but it's okay. And I didn't really see when I was reading it, I was like, it's not dark. And then on reflection, I'm like, well, yeah, that was kind of bad.
And maybe a different age group has somewhat of a different perspective when they're reading it. Certain things don't hit them the way that it would hit a different age group.
Exactly. But definitely, I'd say if you're looking for a series and to really get into characters, definitely go with like The Hunger Games or any of the Rick Riordan series. John Green has really good standalone books. You can just to try them out. Definitely would do those. And then The Hobbit and The Book Thief are also good standalone books. I guess The Hobbit's not a standalone book, but it's part of the Lord of the Rings, but it's not at the same time.
So do you have one favorite author?
No, I wouldn't say I have a favorite author. I definitely, when I see different books pop up with them, I'm more intrigued. I know with that, like Meg Cabot has a lot of good standalone books too. They're and like she has like some short series. Um, yeah, but I guess if I had to pick a favorite, it'd be Rick Riordan or Meg Cabot. I do like John Green books. The other ones are series where I don't know if I've read a lot of the other books that they've written, but if they tend to carry over the same things in their writing styles.
Yes. So do you prefer a series or do you prefer a standalone book?
I definitely tend to be drawn to series. I've tried standalone books and I always feel like I want more when I get to the end. Where series, unless it's a surprise that it's going to become a series, most of the time the series, they don't have quite a cliffhanger, but they're not completely resolved issues, and that's what keeps you coming back, especially for series. And you get more character development, you get to go new places with the characters. That's what can I look at the lightning thief? Yes. So this is the Percy Jackson and the Olympians is this series, and it's 5 books, I want to say, is the series, and that could have been the end, and it would have been okay. But then, if you hand me, it's the Heroes of Olympus is that book right there. That's the Trials of Apollo, which is a spin-off, kind of another series after that series. So all of these 3 books have the same. These 2 have the same characters with more added into them, and then this one has a few of the characters from that second series, and this second series ties in the Roman and because the Greek mythology and the Roman mythology are so close together. That's how that's tied about how like the split and everything, and it definitely comes together with overcoming differences because they have to work together to like save the world. But of course, you gotta save the world. But.
Well, yeah, that would kind of put it into that series if the world disappeared.
But, yeah, definitely. And they each have their own, like, that series ended well and this series ended well. And he's still writing books for this series. And I think they're really good. Just because people like the characters. And they focus on different characters where I'd say, like a cameo almost in some of the other series. But then it's nice to see them because if you're in an expanded universe kind of thing, to not forget about characters because it's like their story's still going on. So I do like series. That was a really long answer to your short question.
Interesting. I just wondered, and maybe that kind of plays into the genre or category more so. But I do know that a lot of adult authors are really getting into making more series as well, just continuing their characters on, or just the premise of what they're doing. It may not even be the same characters.
Yeah.
I prefer a standalone book.
Oh,
I'm
really?
totally the opposite. Yep.
I know sometimes you can get tired of characters, but I'd rather stick with some characters than feel like and really get to know them, especially with if the same author then starts another series, because then you start to draw parallels between characters that they've written, where you can expand on that, or you get a different author. So I definitely jumped around because I think I read the Hunger Games before I read the Harry Potters, and then I read the Lightning Thief and finished that series after we watched the movie in a class, and I didn't even know it was a book, and my friend was like, how could you not know it was a book? And then I really, really loved that series, and then he was coming out with the second series that he finished up, I think, my freshman or sophomore year, so then we were still into those. I was reading the Magic series, and so they're similar, but all their characters have different flaws, different motivations and stuff, and I like them. And then you feel kind of sad when you finish a whole series, but because you devoted a lot of time to it.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely if you don't have a lot of time on your hand, a standalone book is great. And that's what I'm kind of finding out now, because I don't have a lot of time on my hands. I try not to start series. That's why there's like the selection series is really popular, and I'd like to read them, but I have a hard time committing to 5 books right now because I've been reading the same book for a month and a half, and it's just a standalone book, but I just don't have a lot of time.
Right here.
Definitely, if you're busy, one book, and you're committed to that one book, and that's all you can do, that's great. It just keeps you reading, and I don't know, keeps me from just like sitting on my laptop and killing time and stuff, because you get invested to other things where sometimes you just feel like,
Do you prefer a book in your hand? Have you
Yes.
tried playaways or anything like that?
I've listened to one audiobook that I liked it. I don't know. A part of me wishes I had read it, because now if I read it, I'm gonna hear that narrator's voice. But I was actually traveling, and so I was traveling very far, and so I didn't want to rent a book or borrow a book, because then it's like, what happens if it gets damaged?
Right.
And then I didn't know if I would like it, so I didn't want to buy it.
Yes, that is smart.
So I used Hoopla for the audiobook, and I liked that, and so I think I'd probably do another audiobook. I know a lot of people listen to them in their cars when they go places, which I think is a great idea.
Playaways are amazing if you would happen to not have Hoopla, or maybe something's not available, because it's so small. I prefer those when I'm gardening or something like outside, because it's just a little thing this big, and I slide it in my pocket and then just hook up my earplugs, and then because my phone I feel is bulkier, and so and plus your phone, you push buttons on it and stuff when it's in your pocket, whereas with the playaway, it's just, you don't even know it's there. I usually actually just slide it, like if I have a pocket.
Like a pager almost?
Oh, it's exactly the size of a pager.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know about those, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I thought you
they're
were talking
amazing.
about audiobooks.
And audio, but I do
Okay.
audiobooks too, but for me, a playaway is way better, because the whole entire book is on that little thing. Whereas if I'm trying to listen to an audiobook, like in my vehicle or something, okay, so the books I choose usually have about 10 discs. You get done with the disc, you gotta change them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to drive, I don't wanna be changing it while I'm driving. So always, I'm 2 miles out of town when I need to change the disc, so I have to go all the way home, or wait till I'm at a stop sign or something before I change the disc.
Yeah,
Playaways are way better.
that sounds cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
What books do you like? What's your favorite way that you've listened to?
Oh my gosh. There were some that a lot of the larger libraries have a ton of them, so we can order them in just about anything that is a popular thing. So I used to get them in before we had Hoopla, for some of our book discussion books, so I don't even remember what all, because I've had so many in. They're as expensive as audiobooks, if not a little bit more expensive, like maybe $20 more a piece depending. So we don't have a lot of them because we don't have a lot of people who listen to them.
Yeah.
Now, if we had more people who listen to them, we would order more, but
you can still borrow them, like through the shipping. Yep, that's cool.
Yep, we order them in. But yeah, if people would rather listen to them rather than an audiobook, we would swap and start getting more of those. But yeah, they're pretty cool. You have to check them out.
I will.
Yeah. Look at me, get my 2 cents worth in. All right, we've rambled enough. So we want to thank Katie. I don't know if we'll have another segment of this or not, but who knows what'll happen in the future? We'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens, and but in the meantime, check us out. We will share this on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, Montpelier Library. Just search for us and subscribe to our channel. We'd love that. We post 1 or 2 videos per week, so you can check us out, see what we're up to. Okay, so thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.